time we have so many supplementary budgets, they speak to lack of adequate planning. However, there are certain unavoidable circumstances.
And the fact that supplementary budgets perhaps don't attract as much scrutiny from the general public as the main budget.
Yes and no, because I think they still go through public scrutiny, maybe not as robust as the main budget, but I think there are also issues we must take note of in any financial year, like the crisis in the Middle East around Iran and Israel. In many ways affected the entire world economy. And that meant relooking at certain projections in terms of even revenue. It also meant that we had to remove certain taxes, like the 8% VAT on fuel. So that in one way or the other will affect the budget because you have to relook at certain things. So there are certain headwinds that you can run into that may be unexpected, but they should be an exception rather than the norm. Mm-hmm. I think that is important. Secondly, I would also want to state that yes, there are issues of expenditure problem which we need to sort out, and I'm happy if what Honorable Mbadi said during budget reading speech is true, that through enforcement of the e-procurement model, they had saved 36 billion. Whether it was saved because of the system or because there are still entities struggling to adopt it, and therefore the rate of absorption of certain expenditures may have gone down, could also be something we need to look at. But if we can get a report of how many public entities are currently using e-procurement model so that there's visibility around public procurement, that would be good. In terms of single treasury account, which is also part of fiscal discipline space, it would be good to know, is that being employed so that entities do not just hold money and then end up giving them to commercial banks to make money with and still look for money from national treasury. So those are good measures if at all they're there. But I think the other issue we need to pay attention to, and that could be a place where I disagree with the professor, we have an expenditure problem, but we also have a revenue problem. And I want to say it that there is no way an economy such as ours can only register 15% of tax collection to GDP. There is definitely bad manners also amongst us. Government is indisciplined with public spending, but we are also not patriots. Mm-hmm. You go to a restaurant today, you buy food. By the time you want to leave, when you ask for an ETR receipt, you're almost fighting with the restaurant operators. They don't want to give you that receipt because they will be giving visibility to their transactions where they should pay tax to government. You go to a petrol station to fuel your car, you will struggle to get an ETR compliant receipt. They'll tell you, oh, there's a problem with that machine, it's broken down. Mm-hmm. But the reality is we're hiding certain things. Go to the entire Eastleigh, it's a very big economy. Go and buy a commodity there. Ask for a receipt. They will tell you, withdraw money there and pay us. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of underground business operations, and therefore we are unfairly levying the burden of carrying this country to those who have payslips who are easy to be targeted by KRA.
Shouldn't we be blaming KRA as a compliance agency?
KRA, there is what they can do. But you see, there must be an enabling legislation for them to do some of these reforms. Mm-hmm. Some of these legislations have fallen short. Some of the countries we look at, they're able to view what you do in your bank. Banking records are not hidden for tax purposes. But in this country, our culture is so bad that if you start targeting...
You support that proposal for KRA to be allowed to scrutinize
not
mobile money or banks transactions?
No, it comes with a rider. Mm-hmm. It comes with a rider. It's not absolute. If you can demonstrate that it can only be used mm-hmm. for purposes of sorting out the tax issues mm-hmm. and not to target people in other areas or expose business secrets to other third parties, mm-hmm. then that would be okay. But the risk is, go to a country like South Africa. That access is there. But it is controlled access. It's access that gives the Revenue Authority visibility simply for tax purposes. But the other measures, you may not even necessarily go that route. What we need to do is that KRA needs to be capacitated with the resources to roll out enough sensitization campaigns so that when you walk to a restaurant, how many Kenyans, for example, know that there's a nexus between getting an ETR compliant receipt in that restaurant where I'm eating or in that petrol station where I'm fueling my car to the tax collection? Yes. Some of us don't know. So there are other measures which are administrative that KRA can still employ before we get there, because there's still trust deficit amongst the populace on how this information can be used. Okay. So it's a good thing, but perhaps its time has not reached. Okay. But what can we do to raise our tax to GDP ratio? Because at 15%, you can't convince me. The global OECD numbers is about 25 to 30%.
All right. On revenue compliance and collection.
When I was a student in Barcelona, in Spain, I went there when I was a young man. So, I was available to date women there.